I was just playing some Alan Wake 2 on the PlayStation 5 this afternoon, and I opened up my iPad, went on Reddit, and the first thing I was greeted with was Destiny 2. Every end is a new beginning. That's not the most damning title they could have chosen for that, I think. I mean, you know exactly what's coming whenever you read that. But it is intriguing because it says a new beginning. Does that mean things? I don't know. Well, I do because I've read the entire article. So it's rather interesting, really. As I was reading this, I felt an overwhelming sense of just sadness, relief, and hope, I suppose. The sadness because Destiny 2 came out in 2017, I think, at least. And I've been playing it since then. Originally it was on the Xbox One, and then I swapped over to PC at some stage. I've been playing this game for like 8 to 9 years. So much has happened in 8 to 9 years in my life. So it's really strange that the constant thing that was always there in the background, that I always booted up my PC or my Xbox to play, is stopping getting updates. It's just a bit strange, I suppose. And it's sad. It does feel kind of like grieving in a way, which would sound silly to anybody who doesn't really understand the impact, I suppose, of this, but I don't know. That's the only way I can describe it, really. Relief, because I mean, Destiny 2's been going downhill for quite a while. The game's been struggling with bugs and just things for a few years now, and they really should have wound down the game after the final shape, and the episode should have just wrapped up more things than needed. Sure, set up some things for the future too, but they should have just ended it after Heresy. Left the game in a nice position, and then worked on Destiny 3, instead of releasing The Edge of Fate and Renegades, and now deciding to pull the plug. I don't know where that leaves a potential Destiny 3, because we're like a year into a new saga. Granted, Destiny 1, I guess, is also the start of the Light and Dark saga, so take that as what you will, I suppose. But the article essentially goes through saying that they're a bit heavy-hearted and saying that they have to pull the plug in Destiny 2. They're going to leave the game in as good a state as they can for the future so people can keep coming back and playing it, as they've done with Destiny 1 in the past. So they basically went over the fact that there's going to be moments of triumph brought into the game. There'll be different things that you can do to get a title, and there'll be some new gear and stuff. They're bringing the director back fully. Not that it ever left, it just took a back seat to the portal. So the director's gonna... I want to click on it just to visualize it. So the director's getting a bit of an update. I'm just noticing that Nessus has a weird thing around it, which I find odd. The director's getting an update, the portal's gone, and instead lives as nodes at the bottom of the director. Overall, I think this looks great. I think this might be the best looking director that we've had in Destiny 2. So I'm all for it. It looks great, in my opinion. Bye-bye, portal. It was not too soon. So they also talked about having Pantheon 2.0 coming, which they told us was coming in this update anyway. So that was like before it got delayed and everything. So that's always good to see. Raid and Dungeon that's being updated to the full tier system, which is good. And then they also said that for destinations, that they're tripped down memory lane. So destination weapons and armor are being upgraded to modern standards with the tier system and stuff. And some destinations will have distortions, which they say is a new activity to bring more variety and touch more challenge to your time planet side. Distortions also bring unique rewards to earn for participating beyond your slate of destination jobs. This to me sounds like some sort of twist on public events. I don't entirely know how this is going to work. I wonder if it's going to be tied into the story at all. Knowing Destiny and Bungie, it will be. So I wonder if this is something to do with the 9 and it's causing distortions on the planets or something like that. I wonder if it's distortions from, like, it's going to be glimpses into the past of Destiny 2 or something like that. We'll have to see, but it sounds very intriguing. I'm all for that sort of thing. So that's good to see. It's also the fact that they're updating planet, like they're updating destinations. Finally, how long has it taken for them to update a destination? The other thing that I sort of missed at the top of that article is that the tower's going to be changed. It's going to look different. So it looks, and now this is concept art, but but it looks as though we're getting this monument thing in the middle of the tower over the area that Iron Banner would usually live, essentially. And there's a bunch of characters. I mean, you can see Ikor and Archie at the front there. There's Mara off to the side. Elsie Bray is over to the far right-hand side. You've got Zavala in the dead middle with Eris and Crow to his right. Drifter, I was about to call him Gambit Man. Drifter and his ghost are on the left there. It looks really cool. I'm assuming that essentially everything here will be present in-game. It would be weird for them to design all this and for it not to be the case in-game. The one thing I'm not too sure about is the Traveler, because we know the Traveler is out like orbiting Earth currently and has been for like a couple of years now. There's the Pale Heart on like the portal on the front of it. So if it comes back to the city, I guess it would have to have the portal as well, and it's not shown in this art. They could probably do something about its heal enough that you don't need the portal and you can just go or something. I don't know, they could probably work something out. But the question is the Traveler actually going to be there? I hope so much that it is, because at the time that the Traveler left, I thought it was amazing. It was weird the Traveler not being there. The absence of the Traveler, after being used to it for so long at the tower, made you feel something. But it's now been a couple of years and the whole like final shape things happened. The Traveler's just floating up there. And it would be great for it to come back, because I feel like without the Traveler being at the tower just feels a bit not so special, I suppose. The really special thing about the tower in Destiny 1, for example, was the fact that the Traveler was there. And that was the same thing for Destiny 2 for really long. So I do hope that it comes back, given that this is meant to be a final shape for Destiny 2, to bring it full circle. I would really hope that the Traveler will return to the city. I don't even care if the portal isn't present on it. I just want the Traveler in the city. That would be amazing. So I do think the monument and that like red carpety thing will be there, and Zavala might even live on the monument, who knows. But the Traveler, not so sure. It would be great to have it there. Oh yeah, Shax is also there. I can't miss Shax. And Sweeperbot, of course, so important. Outside of that, they have some new aspects and stuff coming for some subclasses, which they did mention that they're bringing forward stuff that was going to be in future updates and expansions, because obviously they're not updating the game anymore. So there's a few... there's a Solar Hunter aspect, a Void Warlock aspect, and a Solar Titan aspect. There's a new Hunter Melee, weirdly, a Void Hunter Melee, Phantom Surge, so that'll be strange. A couple new grenades, one for Strand, one for Stasis, and then there's also class-specific abilities for Warlocks, Titans, and Hunters. They also mentioned somewhere about what if a Warlock could throw 2 Nova Bombs. That was actually in the exotic armor section, so it sounds like they're tweaking some exotic stuff, and I think they even mentioned weapons. So that'll be very interesting to see. They made some changes to like Onslaught and crawl activities like Contest of Elders and the Coil. I could play Onslaught again. I really enjoyed Onslaught, and it's been weird recently. So hopefully it comes back to its like enjoyable form. There's a Crucible section, which I don't really care about. But they did mention Heavy Metal, which is the Brig versus Tank game mode, will feature a third vehicle type, the Cabal Walker, which I'm actually very interested to see what that's like. I didn't expect them to be adding a third vehicle type to that game mode, and there's also meant to be a new map. So that's one of the things I'm actually really excited about. Gambit got a mention about it's getting its own ops category, and it will have new armor that you can earn with a unique set bonus. They're also reprising some iconic Gambit weapons as tiered gear, which is cool, but Gambit Gambit didn't go away, but it wasn't featured in the portal for like the last year, and they sort of did that, setting us up for a revamp to Gambit. And I know that this update is like, you know, they're not updating the game anymore, so I guess they're just doing what they can. But the fact that there's no change to Gambit seemingly means they didn't work on it at all. And it's just frustrating. I really enjoy Gambit, but it just doesn't ever receive any love. Seasonal events are retired, which is honestly one of the saddest things. No more Dawning, no more Festival of the Lost. I don't really care about Guardian games, although I did actually enjoy it this year, surprisingly, and that's gone. Um, Solstice, gone. But they did say that you can earn engrams for these events through the Monument of Triumph, so that'll be interesting. But I really enjoy Festival of the Lost and the Dawning. It's going to be really weird not having them this year. Then they also said that you can get the armor ornament sets previously available for these events with Bright Dust, so that'll be quite nice. They also mentioned that there's going to be bright engram focusing, which sounds rather interesting. We'll have to see what that's like in practice, but of course they're making that change when the game is ending. There's a rewards pass which was meant to come with the Shadow and Order update, so they're just giving it to us. I don't know if that's paid or not, but if you have the year of expansion stuff, you'll have it anyway. So, and then they're doing proper exotic armor transmog. So from June 9th, which is the date of the update, players may apply common, uncommon, rare, legendary armor ornaments to their exotic armors visible in PvE environments, which I think is a really nice change. So, I mean, I'm pretty happy with how my Guardian looks, but it's a nice change. Again, it comes at the end of the game. Great. They had a note about the Destiny 2 collection, so if you don't have all the expansions or anything, they're bundling all the Destiny 2 content packs into a singular purchase, which will be available come June 9th. And individual content packs and expansions will also receive permanent markdowns in June, so that's nice. And the final announcement is that Sparrow Racing League is returning. Out of nowhere. Why did they decide now is the time to bring it back? I don't know, but I think like Sparrow Racing League was somewhat near the end of Destiny 1 as well, was it? I didn't really play it, so I don't know. But anyway, Sparrow Racing League is returning as a permanent edition, which I would hope so, because this is the final update. It's reopening tracks from the original Destiny experience and adding a new space to race opponents on. They've created new unique weapon sets that can be earned by competing in races, and there's armor sets with a new set bonus, and numerous cosmetics, including horns, will be available to earn, which, honestly, sounds really cool, and I will play it. They also said that the This Week in Destinies will be winding down after a few weeks into the launch. They'll still be talking about the game and, highlighting community stuff, but the This Week in Destinies will go in hibernation, which is kind of sad, honestly. Feels like the end of an era with Bungie and Destiny. But that was sort of it. So, it's going to be a very interesting update. I'm certainly looking forward to it. It sounds really promising. They made a lot of changes that the community have been asking for. There's changes that I personally have been asking for. Like I've not enjoyed the portal as with many other people, so I'm very happy the director's getting the refresh that it needs. They're adding Kepler and the Renegades locations to the director. In fact, that was interesting. Did they actually have... Yeah, Lawless Frontier has its own node, essentially. So that makes sense. So I'm happy about that. The distortions answers my prayer in a way, because I wanted them to update destinations for so long now. Like, actually update it, not just add Nestquakes and never remove them from the game after that story concluded. So the distortions sound really interesting, so I'm really hoping for that. And hopefully, the Traveller returns to the tower. We'll see. Now, it all seems doom and gloom. They never said it was a ending. The title of it's literally Every End is a New Beginning. So they didn't confirm Destiny 3. They didn't mention Destiny 3. They didn't mention a sequel. They didn't mention what the next thing is for Destiny as a franchise. But they basically said, to my understanding, like they were leaving. There's going to be some story beats added for characters. I think I missed that to sort of round out their stories for currently. So, to my understanding, is that they're going to leave the game story-wise as much as they can in an update like this in a state that they can pick it up again in the future. And they also said, like, whenever they have information to share about the future of Destiny, that they will tell us. They will be the first to know and stuff like that. Which, if I were a game studio, I mean, we've seen it so often with other game studios, if a game studio isn't going to work on a game in the future, they either won't talk about it at all, Valve, Half-Life, or they'll just straight out say, no, we're not working on this currently. If they have any intention on working on the game in the future, they won't say no. They'll leave the door open. And whilst that could mean that in 10 years' time we get a Destiny 3, it still doesn't read that way for me. It still reads to me as though they have decided Destiny 2 isn't the correct way to continue the franchise and continue the story. And they have just launched Marathon, obviously, and they need to work on that. But if we take a step back from the whole Destiny community perspective, Sony has lost a lot of value from Bungie. It was greatly overvalued, which all of us could have guessed, but there's been stuff that came out recently that they've marked down their valuation of Bungie by like $700 million over the course of like a few quarters, which is wild. And at the end of the day, Destiny 2 has made an insane amount of money. From the amount of expansions, from all of the Eververse stuff, it's made so much money. There's been a lot of mishandling, definitely. But one thing that can't be denied is that the franchise is very profitable. And at just face value, if Sony want to get their value out of Bungie, I would be making them develop a Destiny 3. And we just have to hope that's what they're doing. So, yeah, it's going to be very strange. I would love to make more videos on this. Just on, like, I don't even know how they're going to start Destiny 3. This Fate saga is now like 2 expansions in, and it's just going to be bookmarked. So hopefully we get some sort of a footnote in the chapter, I suppose, of Destiny 2's involvement in that story, and it sets it up for a nice continuation in Destiny 3. But it's strange, certainly. I saw a funny comment. I'm going to end the video soon. But I saw a funny comment on the Reddit post saying that was one way to avoid the roadmap. And then there was a response to the comment saying the roadmap was a cliff. And I just find that really funny. Anyway, I could just keep talking forever about this. So I'll probably make more videos in the coming days, potentially, about the whole thing and my thoughts and just stuff which will never get resolved now. Things that just came up over the years, and they'll probably not be in a Destiny 3. So it also makes you realize that we talked so much, like, as a community about Destiny 1 and its scrapped content because Destiny 2 was made. The Pyramidion, for one thing, was meant to have a raid in it, and it was meant to be in Destiny 1, but instead it was in Destiny 2 and it was a strike and all this sort of stuff. But, like, they've been working on expansions for Destiny 2. So we will likely see those expansions in some form in a Destiny 3 if they make it. And it'll probably be vastly different than what we would have seen in Destiny 2 if it was in the game. So that'll be fascinating. And I'm sure if they make a Destiny 3, if they start working on it immediately, if they're not already working on it, in like 3-4 years' time, there'll be videos looking back on the scrapped content of Destiny 2, which lives on in Destiny 3. The update seems good. It's also extremely sad, but the update seems good, so I'm gonna keep coping, and we'll have a good time come the 9th of June. So let me know what your thoughts are on this whole thing. Personally, whilst I'm sad, I'm just glad that the purgatory of what's happening with my favourite game is now over. So let me know what your thoughts are, but I'll stop rambling. I hope you enjoyed hearing me talk about the ending of Destiny 2, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.